and welcome back as QuickShot and I are joined here by Jess's after that victory. Impressive play from you guys once again. What was the game plan going into picks and bans?
We kind of knew what moves was going to play, and we banned his Gragas, and since Kale and Six is nerfed, we kind of knew that he was going to pick Lulu. And I've been practicing some champions against Lulu, and I think it was fine. I mean, I died once from the gank, which was, in my opinion, unexpected, because I'm always thinking that Nocturne can never gank early. I always have that mindset, so I was just like, I don't even know. I didn't even flash until like really late, until after I got feared, so it was really dumb. But it ended out well, and Lulu didn't get the kill, so it was still equal. And after I get Athenes and Blue as Nidalee, I kind of like outscale. Like, she can't poke me anymore at all, so.
It's actually something that I mentioned during the course of the game, that Lulu has very few bad matchups. Lulu bullies a lot of people, and there's very few champions that can actually counter her. Now, Nidalee seems to be a champion that can go even. In your mind, is there a counter? Is there a champion that can beat Lulu in the laning phase?
Depends on the Lulu. If the Lulu is like really high skilled, like top-notch Lulu, I personally think there's nothing that can beat Lulu. We've seen that in some solo queue players, on EU and Korea. Like, there's nothing that beats Lulu, a real good Lulu. So, but I mean, people haven't really practiced for that long, so it's not that hard to beat right now. So
maybe a quick follow-up on that. If we talk about Lulu, why do you pick Nidalee when we haven't seen it that often, and you seem to really love it? And how did it work? How does it work in team fights?
Nidalee is very, in team fights, you can't really go all in. You have to always stay behind and just throw spears and spam heal and throw traps for the tanks. That's pretty much all you can do in team fights. And then later on you can pick up by going Cougar form, but that's mainly it. You can only stand in the back line, just spam your spells. And
we actually have a very good example of that, how Nidalee goes in team fights.
Yeah, so let's actually pull up the replay on your screens. It's something that took place close to a dragon. Now, I want to start this one off by saying that you guys moved into the pit. Take a look at the fight. 16 minutes in, there's only a 3,000 gold lead. And as you were mentioning, Nidalee hanging back behind your front line. Let's roll the replay here and talk me, what's going through your team's calling and your communication at this point in time?
They're just calling dragon, but wait.
So at this point in time, Mixer and Mr. Rawls come in, you see Impaler diving. Yeah. How do you respond to Impaler going in for the steal?
Thing is, before he dived in, we had him poked pretty hard. So we knew he was really low, so if he were to go all in, we would just instantly kill him and stop dragon. At one point, when we see him ulting, we just stop dragon, and we just go on him and just burst him down, and then we pick up dragon, just pick up the rest.
What is the communication like in your team when you see Impaler throw in? Like, who's yelling, and then who yells to chase afterwards?
The ones standing inside the pit, they just yell, kill Nocturne, kill Nocturne. And then we just all say, okay, can we catch these guys? Yeah, we can catch them, go, go.
They, of course, had another threat there, Zach, something we haven't seen that often either. Is that something you specifically geared up against, or was it not that big of a threat?
We had no clue that they were going to pick Zac and Nocturne, but they're not that strong picks, like they're tier 3 or something. Like, they're pretty low tires, and we weren't really scared going up against it. Like, we had no clue what it could do, but we knew after lane phase that we had pressure in every lane. Like, there was no way they could do anything. So Zac didn't really come into play at all.
I have to give you guys props and credit for the pressure you had in the lane, because it seemed as though you guys were playing fairly safe for the most part. And it was only when a dragon was available or a buff was up that you wanted to steal that you challenged for. Was this a conscious decision, considering you lost to Alliance playing a little risky last week?
When we played against Alliance, our risky plays and our aggressive playstyle even surprised me. Like, I was thinking, wait, what? Because everyone's making like really aggressive calls, and then I'm thinking for myself, what is this? We've never played so aggressive. And then we started getting hyped and getting unfocused. So I don't know. This game we probably just thought of more like playing more safe and doing more safe things to not become overhyped.
So tomorrow, not too aggressive versus Alliance, because you, of course, have the rematch again coming up. How do you think you will do versus Froggen?
Against Froggen, well, right now, the mid lane and, well, the solo laners the solo lanes are pretty boring because there's not much kill potential, like 1v1, so it's usually just farm, wait for gank, objectives, nothing special. So going up against Froggy is not going to be that big of a deal. So.
Not that big of a deal. Well, we'll see. Congratulations once again. Great game from you. And now we're going to check in on what the fans are saying on Twitter. Of course, earlier today, we asked you to tell us who has been your European LCS top lane MVP so far and why. And here are just a few of your answers. The first one is from @LolJaturna. Top lane MVP in the EU LCS has to be Kevin. His stats make him stand out in a field of top laners that all lack major impact.
I'm chiming in on this one because I completely agree. I think Kevin's a player that we don't necessarily hype or talk about too much, but he's got the least deaths, the most kills, second most assists. He is phenomenal in the top lane. I would also say that your teammate, Freddy, is probably next in line if I were to give a silver medal.
Yeah, and you spotted that because our second tweet is from @7UC Dark Phoenix. My EU LCS top lane MVP has to be Freddy122. His Renekton was excellent, and he is the most consistent player in all the LCS. He is, of course, your teammate, so what can you say about Freddy?
Freddy is really, really good in this meta. That he's really, really good at tanks. Like, he's really top level. Not much else to say. He's doing his job. So.
Consistently doing his job. And the last one is from @Dr. Hindsight. More than anyone, Rocket Zazas has stood out as an unstoppable top lane force, consistently dominating his opponents. That's strong words.
Considering it's coming from Dr. Hindsight, in hindsight, the Jax pick against the Aatrox, maybe not the smartest, but yes, for the rest of the performances, I think he's very solid. He's also got a fairly diverse champion pool, and we'll have to see if he can keep it up.
Well played, Trevor. Now, those tweets were definitely some MV tweets. Now, remember, you can follow us @LOL